Everybody go have a seat. We're going to get this thing kicked off. So make sure you grab your food, get you something to drink. And goals, I'm going to get this thing closed out by 1 o'clock for you guys. Stay on time. There's a few more chairs. Chairs back there. They are going to have a mic up here, so you'll be able to hear them. But there's more tables and chairs back there. I think there's still some food left. I think we had like 120 to 150 people RSVP, so pretty good crowd. All right, so this is our 12th event for Hunt County EDA. And as you guys, a lot of y'all have been here before, but our mission is to communicate important issues related to economic development in Hunt County. We are not, I repeat, not politically affiliated with any Republican, Democrat, any of that side. We're not a member of any PAC, none of that. We are strictly here to provide education about what's going on in the county for economic development, period. We don't support any candidates as a group or anything like that. We just provide the education that we want for Hunt County, so y'all know kind of what's going on in the county. Our next event, actually, we've got our 13 events already scheduled. It's going to be on April 18th, and it's going to be at A&M Commerce. A&M Commerce is going to give an update of everything they've got going on. They're going to provide the food for us, the whole 9 yards. Just register. You can go register on our website, which is huntcountyeda.com. If you want to register there. The chambers, all the chambers will have the registration links as well for you. It's free food. I think it's going to be in the student center, depending on how many people we have. And it's a nice update of what's going on in the county. Also want to recognize GEUS. If all the members of GEUS and the board can stand up to be recognized just real quick. I want to thank y'all for sponsoring the food. So you see those guys and ladies, you thank them for paying for the food. I'm sorry, if you buy. For GEUS, our man in the corner over there, GEUS is recording everything and streaming it live. He will also have it on the website. You'll have a link. If you want to reference back to this, he's recording everything. So it'll be on YouTube. You can go look at it anytime you want. So GEUS does that for us for free. And of course, you see the food is Chick-fil-A. So thank you for all those sponsors. Really great. I thought I did I say GEUS while ago? Yeah, I apologize. Okay, Greenville, I thought I did. I saw GEUS and I didn't do that. So Greenville Board of Development, please stand up to be recognized. And thank you guys again for I apologize for that. I even put the glasses on, Greg, so I can see. Everybody, we've got about 14 people on our steering committee. Everybody that's in the Hunt County EDA on the board, if y'all can stand up just real quick. Come on, Greg, stand up. You're on there. Bobby's on there. I'm on there. We got about 14 of us all across the county. We try to get as many folks as we can, just not in Greenville, but trying to get the other cities involved in the county as well. I wanted to make sure I make this announcement. Jenny, when we let you know, early voting this year for the primary is going to be held here, not over there, not at our normal spot. It's going to be here at Fletcher Warren, Tuesday, February the 20th through March the 1st. And it will include weekend voting if you want, as far as the hours as well. It's going to be here, not where we normally go over there on the voting side, okay? All the dates and hours you can get at the voter admin or check the website or give them a call. But she wanted me to make sure I told y'all, Jeannie asked me to make sure I let everybody know early voting is here this year, not over there, okay? All right, the platform today. So the folks that are up here speaking are only the folks that have an opponent for their position, okay? The folks that don't have an opponent, if y'all could stand up, that's in the room, you don't have an opponent, you're not speaking to, I just want to make sure y'all stand up and be recognized. So that's the only reason y'all aren't up here. But if y'all want to go ahead and say your name and your position, go ahead.
Mark Hutchins, Hunt County Commissioner, Precinct 1.
All right.
Terry Jones, Hunt County Sheriff.
Christian Washington, Texas College District 2.
There you go. So they don't have opponents, so they don't get some hot seats up here, so that's why they're not here. All right. Each candidate is going to be able to do a 2-minute introduction. So that's what they'll do, their little presentation. Now, I've communicated this to all the candidates. We are not here to talk a lot about ethics, morals, and that kind of thing and how they stand. It's trying to stay specific towards what you do for Hunt County for economic development. Okay? That is the platform. They've been communicated this multiple times. So that is the main discussion and what they're trying to speak to us about, okay? Our team, our committee's done the best we can to try to make the questions for these guys be pertinent to their position and economic development, so they're gonna be kind of weird, but did the best we could to try to make it work out. Now, after the introduction, on those 3 questions, they're gonna have 2 questions from us, they're gonna get 90 seconds to respond to that. And then the last question is pretty much just a way for them to sum up what's their first priority if they do get elected, what's their first priority they're gonna do for Hunt County. And that's the last question that each of them are gonna have, and then they're gonna be able to kind of use that as their closing statement. Okay? So we're gonna start off with the county attorney, so y'all two can go ahead and come up and we'll get this thing kicked off. And by the way, they agree with who's going first and second, so there's no alphabetical or strategy to order there up there. Should be able to turn that mic on up there. That is right order, you know I could remember. So you got that. Go ahead, Cal, get that mic, make sure, just hold the button down. It's already on, good. All right, so we have a timekeeper, remember, like I told you, we have a timekeeper, she's right here. All right, so you've got your 2 minutes, so go ahead, start, you have your 2 minutes, okay?
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Calvin Grogan. It has been an honor serving for you the last 3 years down in your courthouse as your elected Hunt County attorney. When I campaigned for this job 4 years ago, I ran on a platform that was going to bring integrity, wisdom, judgment, experience to the job. Because the job requires keeping the community safe and protecting our children. Article 5 of the Texas Constitution requires the county attorney to file all misdemeanor cases in the county courts and to assist the district attorney if requested. The Texas Family Code requires me to do several statutory duties. One is to represent domestic violence survivors in court on protective order applications. 2, to represent the Child Protective Services Agency in district court for their legal stuff. And then 3rd, to get involved with juveniles that have got in trouble with the juvenile justice system. Those are all family code responsibilities. Then the Texas Health and Safety Code requires the county attorney to handle all civil commitments. These are people that are looking for a place that need to get long-term care, so they have to be involuntarily committed. That falls on the shoulders of the county attorney by statute. To do all those things, I relied upon the core values that I've learned in several places. 1, I'm a proud member of the United States Air Force Reserves. 2, I've also learned from being a career as a public servant some of the things that have guided me to lead me in this career and kept me as a prosecutor my entire 18 years. I came to Hunt County from Lamar County. I spent my first 2 years as a prosecutor, as a misdemeanor prosecutor, working up there in Paris. And then I've been here for the last 16 years. Most of that time was working for the district attorney, Novi Walker, doing felonies. Besides the statutory responsibilities I'm responsible for and the constitutional, I've got engaged with the community. I think it's important for business development and economic development that you have to have a safe community, otherwise businesses aren't going to come to Greenville. Secondly, I think your nonprofits are important. So I'm involved in several nonprofits. One of those is the mental health nonprofit that we formed last year. I'm one of the founding board members. And we are having a big golf, I'll talk about the golf tournament later. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Scott Cornod, and I'd like to be your county attorney. I'd respect and ask for your vote. March 5th, 2024, early voting is coming up in January, and February the 20th. I get my dates mixed up. There's so many dates. But I would like to thank the Greenville Chamber, the Economic Development Alliance, and you all for being here and listening to us. I know you're taking time out to hear what the candidates have to say, and I appreciate you. The primary thing that the county attorney's office does is prosecute misdemeanors like assaults, DWIs, possession of dangerous drugs, things like that. That's the primary job. That's what most of the job is. They also represent CPS in CPS cases and presents them to the courts. There's several reasons I'm running. 1, I'm from this county. I've lived in this county for over 50 years. I've got 4 children that live in this county. I've got 2 that graduated from Hunt County schools. I've got 2 that are still in Hunt County schools. I've got a business here. I've got business property here. I've got a house here that I'm paying for. I'm interested in all things good for Hunt County. I'm totally invested. Whether I win or lose, I'm still going to be in Hunt County. I was on the Quinlan ISD School Board for 13 years. I was heavily invested in making our school better and the drug education program that we started at Quinlan ISD to try to stop some of these drugs that are infiltrating our schools. So why am I running? I believe I can do a better job, or I shouldn't be up here asking for your vote if I didn't think I could do a better job. And there's several reasons. I can go into them in detail. Hopefully I'll get a chance to before my time is up. But one, we're not prosecuting cases anymore like we used to under the previous county attorney. Two, CPS is not being monitored to where they have to be sanctioned, and I'll go into some of that information as well. Stop. Thank you.
Bell doesn't stop. Okay, so I'll repeat the question a couple times. It's a lot of words, some more words, and you're gonna go first. All right, so what will be your top priorities in terms of criminal prosecution, and how do you plan to address issues such as crime prevention and victim support? I'll say it one more time. What will be your top priorities in terms of criminal prosecution, and how do you plan to address issues such as crime prevention and victim support? Scott, you're up.
Good question, thank you. First thing I'm gonna do is go to the Sheriff's Department and the Greenville PD and the local law enforcement agencies and talk with the troopers and ask them how I can make your job easier and how can you make my job easier? Because cases are not being prosecuted. They're being kicked back. It started off with the letter, as soon as Mr. Grogan got into office, he said there's some confusion among law enforcement agencies concerning my office's requirements for misdemeanor arrest warrants. The solution will avoid my office. And that's not a slam on Mr. Grogan, it's just I've got a different management style. I'm not gonna say avoid my office, and please present your complaints and arrest warrants to the magistrates. I'm sorry, I'm gonna work hand in hand with law enforcement. I think it's a partnership, not a dictatorship. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna kick back cases like they're being kicked back. If you go to txcourts.gov, it's the state of Texas judicial branch that compiles statistics, and it's information submitted by our county clerks and our courts on the number of cases that are being filed, prosecuted, and the cases that are over 90 days old. How do I plan on addressing it? I'm not gonna kick back as many cases. I'm not gonna have the strict requirements for every I's gotta be dotted, every T's gotta be crossed, or kick it back to law enforcement. And I'm gonna work with them. I'm not gonna tell them to avoid my office. I'm gonna go to their office and I'm gonna expect, I'm sorry, stop. I'm sorry.
So, I tell you what, go ahead. You get 90 seconds on this one. All right, so go ahead and answer that same question. But I'm gonna switch, I'm gonna go to a minute after this question for you. And then y'all have a little bit, about 30 more seconds. Go ahead, Calvin, 90 seconds on this.
On this one, okay, thank you. So one of the things that's required of the job is prosecutorial discretion. I'll explain what that means, but basically, well, what it means is you're not seeking convictions. You're seeking what's called justice. So it's a gray area term, and you have to have the experience to know when you still prosecute somebody if it's not necessary, which requires you to make some tough calls. As far as statistics, what I'll say about that is when this was brought up Friday, and I had a chance to look into this, I am a fact person. I like to get facts, and I like to get stats. One of the things I would ask you to consider is that there's actually a decrease in crime in Hunt County. Now, it's not as big enough a decrease to explain why the number of cases back in 2011, which my opponents brought up, have dropped down to the number filed when I filed. But one of the statistics that would be very helpful to know if we actually have a problem in the county attorney's office is how many cases are law enforcement agencies actually submitting to the county attorney's office. That's absent on my opponent's statistics. So what I did is I went ahead and submitted open records requests to all of the big agencies because I want to know that. If there's a reason why they're not bringing cases over, because I want to believe that all of our agencies are doing their job, which is to protect your community that you live in. And they wouldn't be not bringing cases over simply because who the elected county attorney is. And I think when I finally get the stats, it'll back that up. As far as crime prevention and victim support stuff, I've done a lot. I've expanded victim support. We have more people on my staff that have actually qualifications to be what are called victim assistance coordinators. And we have a strategic relationship with Women in Need, which is our shelter here in town.
Okay. All right, next question. So I think you can probably keep going with which I was going with this, but what specific criminal justice reforms do you support, and how will you work towards implementing them at the county level? I'll do it one more time. What specific criminal justice reforms do you support, and how will you work towards implementing them at the county level? And you're gonna have a full minute.
Okay, but kind of like our laws as they exist now, I don't see any big things on the misdemeanor level that needs to be changed as far as our crime. I do think perhaps they ought to look at maybe ticketing possession of marijuana to make it easier for law enforcement not to have to process hours and hours and hours of time to arrest somebody for a possession of marijuana. And I would talk to them first before I would try to change anything on that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to change anything at the county attorney level. As far as the CPS, I think they are oftentimes out of control, and we need to protect our children. When they come knocking on your door asking you, somebody made a random call, and you need to count your pills in front of your prescription pills in front of me so I can make sure you're not overdosing or giving your kids your pills. I think this, some of the times it goes ridiculous crazy. I think we need to protect our children. That takes away from protecting our children. These people that are going out door to door demanding they come in your house with nothing, let's stop.
1 minute.
1 minute or 90 seconds?
1 minute, I would appreciate it.
Oh, just a 60, okay.
Yeah,
For
please.
criminal justice reforms, what would I support? Well, I think there needs to be more integration with our mental health community. Being on the nonprofit that I've worked on for the last 2 years, I'm very proud of, we see a lot of problems with mental health in the jail. For instance, last week I got a report from our local jail that over half or right around 50% of the jail population was diagnosed on their examination as having some kind of mental health flag. So ways to make it easier to get diagnosis and treatment for people that are coming in, and for me, the only jurisdiction I have is misdemeanors. I don't have any say on the felony cases. But I'll do what I can. So we're having a meeting tomorrow to discuss some of the reforms that have been implemented in other counties to see if we can bring some of those ideas here to Hunt County. But we have to be forward-looking, right? So one of the things we got done, so it's not what I want to get done, we've done it. We got the county commissioners to approve 4 full-time mental health deputies. That's something that we've done in during the 3 years that I've been in office. I went in front of the commissioners and I asked, because I think there's a need for having full-time mental health deputies to respond to mental health calls instead of caging them in the jail.
Okay, so this is the last question, y'all. So I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. So instead of you're gonna have more time, get 2 minutes. So if you should, and this will be the answer to this question for everybody at the end. If you should be elected, what is your top priority for Hunt County? 2 minutes.
Top priority, start prosecuting cases, start accepting cases, start taking cases from law enforcement. When you take, in 2011, new cases filed 2,028, and then it gives statistics all the way down to 2023, 604. The number of convictions in 2011, over 1,000. In 2023, 337. I think when I worked with one other attorney, I don't know the numbers, but I'm just thinking, when I worked with one other attorney in the year 2000, her and me by ourselves, the only attorneys, I think I prosecuted myself more than 337 cases. Crime has not gone down from 1,000 convictions in 2011 to 337 in 2023. Also 628 cases over 90 days old now in 2023, when there was 31 cases over 90 days old in 2011. I want to say thank you, Mr. Grogan, for your military service. I appreciate it. But I think we need somebody in the county attorney's office that can dedicate a full-time position instead of being gone weeks or months at a time sometimes prosecuting our military. I just think we need someone there full-time. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons the numbers are so low. We've got 7 attorneys under us. It's ridiculous to say 337 total convictions. So that's what I've got 30 seconds. CPS, they were sanctioned for the first time by our district judge for over $20,000 for bringing a case and taking a child from a mother on facts and affidavits, alleged facts that were baseless, groundless, and brought for the purposes of harassment, quote unquote, by the judge's order. That needs to stop. We need to protect our kids. and we need to reel in some of the CPS.
Real quickly, the top priority, thank you, that,
You got 2 minutes.
okay, thank you, is Operation Second Chance. Sorry, I've knocked on about 1,500 doors so far in the county. And on the back of my flyer, I advertise and promote my proudest achievement in office, which is a veterans pretrial diversion program. We're talking about mental health a minute ago. I've actually done something about that. We've been running it out of our county. We're joining the rest of the counties up here in Northeast Texas, Collin County, Dallas, they all have it. Right now, we just have it on the misdemeanor side. It's run through my office. I offer veterans that are charged with misdemeanor pretrial diversion. I'm glad my opponent brought up CPS and that specific case. So one of the things you need in an elected county attorney is somebody that can exercise proper judgment, know when to comment on something, when not to, right? So I mentioned Friday at a debate that I would never talk about a case that's on appeal because you never know what's going to be decided. Well, yesterday, the Dallas Court of Appeals on that CPS case that keeps being referred to my opponent, that order by the judge was vacated. There is no $12,000 order fine. The Dallas Court of Appeals has vacated our judge's order. I'm not going to say any more because, again, judgment, I don't know, that could be appealed further. That's why you just don't comment on a case that's up on appeal. As far as statistics, everybody in the room knows statistics can be misleading and distorted. What I will do, because this is not the platform to do it, is I will upload my statistics, show crime rates decreasing. I will point out with charts, if you're really interested, to show that Mr. Cronod's stats are off. There are some problems with prosecuting every single case that's filed. I'm not going to rubber stamp every single case that law enforcement brings. If my opponent can produce one person from any agency in this county that would say in the last 3 years they don't bring cases because I'm the elected, I would gladly have that conversation with that elected because I don't think the person's going to do that. My office was busy last night at 9:30 at night trying an assault case. Do I have to personally be present when I'm doing my military duty? And I'm proud of my military duty. To try every single case, I can't do that anymore. I did 150 jury trials. I tried plenty of cases with Mr. Cornott, and he knows that. I've tried serious cases on TV shows. I don't have time to do that. I have to manage a staff of attorneys that I trust them to do the right thing and seek justice. So justice was delivered last night by a Hunt County jury at 9:30. We have stepped up. I wouldn't be here asking for re-election to continue my involvement with local commitments with nonprofits. I'm committed to the community. What I would ask you to do is, if you want more information, go to my website, www.leckrogan.com. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay. And thank y'all for staying on time and the whole 9 yards. It's a beautiful thing. All right, if we could have our two candidates for the tax assessor collector come up. That'll be next up on the agenda. Which one of y'all got one? Which y'all got two? You got one?
Number one.
Randy, number one. All right. Switch those back.
I was gonna make sure it was the right one.
Like it would be able to go with one. So due to being ahead of time, which is a beautiful thing, you're going to do 2-minute intros, like we talked about. But each question will give you a minute to answer. And then the closing question, you're going to have a couple minutes to answer that, okay? So just give you a few more extra minutes, a few extra seconds to get through there. All right, so if you want to, Brother Randy, you want to go ahead and start off with your 2-minute opening statement?
Hello. Is it working? Yeah, there it is. So, thank y'all for being here today. My name is Randy Weiniger. I was actually born and raised right here in Hunt County, went to school here. I was in the construction business before I decided to get into tax collecting, which I know everyone hates. Nobody likes taxes, and let me say this right now, I do not set the value of your property. All we do is just collect the amount that's due, okay? So, I was actually served on Planning and Zoning Committee here in Greenville. I think I served 5 years on Greenville ISD School Board before being elected to this position. When I ran for this position back in 2012, I made a commitment to the people of Hunt County that I would open your tax office back to 5 days a week. And we did that the very first week we was there. So the one thing is that was kind of funny. Who was more happy about changing it back to 5 days a week instead of the girls working 10 hours a day? Most happiest people that was grateful about that was the wives, husbands, because they did not have to cook dinner every night. So actually, you know, after I got in office, we come up with a plan, and we made our website available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I don't care, you can pull your phone out right now and you can do a transaction right there on your phone. It's that simple. The percentage of collections here in Hunt County has gone up for the past several years. This current year, we were at 103% collection rate. So I don't know, maybe people just like giving me money, so I don't know about that.
2 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Mina Cook. Can y'all hear me okay? I've lived in Hunt County my entire life, where I grew up in the small town of Merritt. After graduation, I married my husband, Mike, and we just recently celebrated our 41st wedding anniversary. Together, we have one son, and who we are very proud of. He has we have a beautiful daughter-in-law. We have a grandson that we absolutely adore, and we're expecting a granddaughter in May of this year that we're super excited about. I began working for Hunt County in 1992 in the tax office, and I worked in the tax office for 10 years. Then in 2003, I was appointed as the first elections administrator for Hunt County, and for the next 16 years, I held every county election. I worked closely with the cities and schools, water and hospital districts to conduct their elections, as well as the Hunt County Democrat and Republican Party chairs to conduct the primary elections. Much coordination goes in, and efficiency goes into the holding of an election when working with 30-plus jurisdictions throughout the county. We must call each location to be put on their event calendar, call approximately 150 citizens of the county who are willing to work a very long election day, create each race on the ballot correctly, order ballots for each jurisdiction, coordinate delivery and pickup of the equipment to the polling location, billing to the jurisdictions, payments to the election workers. The list goes on and on and on. I worked very closely with the county auditor and treasurer to ensure bills and people were paid. I worked hard to build the elections administration office with the help of staff in the other counties I mentioned to be an office the county could be proud of, and if elected as tax assessor collector, I intend to improve on that office as I see it as a Hunt County citizen. Thank you.
All right, here we go. So I'll do the question a couple times. In what ways do you envision utilizing technology to streamline the processes with the tax assessor's office and enhance the online services for taxpayers? So in what ways do you envision utilizing technology to streamline the processes within the tax assessor's office and enhance the online services for taxpayers? You got a minute.
So right now, like I was mentioning a while ago, we have a website that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We just updated it here recently to where it's more user-friendly. It's in English, it's in Spanish. All you have to do is click a button, but you can absolutely do anything you want to right there on the internet. Where's this going in the future? I have no idea. What's happened in the last 5 years, it's amazing. So one thing I like to point out is you can actually, a lot of people our age like to go down, put that check right there in the hand of the clerk. Well, you can actually do an e-check over our website. It costs $1.50. You can't get in your car, drive downtown, and find a place to park any cheaper than that. So we have the technology there. There's probably more coming in the future, but right now that's what we got to offer.
As far as technology, there's always new technology on the horizon. Anyone that works in the business field knows that. So we would always be looking toward anything that's new and upcoming that our Commissioners Court would allow us to proceed. And we would do anything that we could to make the office employees and the customers' job easier for them to come in and pay their taxes, whether they want to do it online or in person.
All right, so I understand y'all aren't, responsible for the appraisal, okay? So,
No.
so see if you can answer this one in a good way. How will you promote transparency in the assessment process and ensure accountability within the tax assessor's office to help build public trust? I'll do it again. How will you promote transparency in the assessment process and ensure accountability within the tax assessor's office to help build public trust? You got a minute.
So right now, the way transparency goes, everything that goes on within my office and Mr. South's office is pretty much posted on our websites. The tax rates, the main thing is, you can sit there and you can do the numbers, figure your own tax bill, but everything is transparent on there. What's coming to the future, I don't know. The legislature changes stuff every year that goes around. So, I mean, anything we got, anybody's more than welcome to come in there and look and see what we have to offer.
As far as transparency in the tax assessor office, the people that work there have to balance their drawers every day and make sure that everything comes out like it's supposed to, down to the penny. So that's your transparency to me every day, is balancing and making sure that everyone's drawers, if you will, their money drawers is what I mean, balances every day, and that everyone understands their job and does their job efficiently.
All right, so the last question, this is your closing statement as well. You have 2 minutes to answer this one. If you should be elected, what is your top priority for Hunt County?
I've enjoyed my job for the past 11 years. This is starting my 12th year, and we have a great staff down there. And being a tax collector, I promise you, you certainly don't make many friends. But that's just part of the job. I didn't make the laws that we had to follow, but I just had to follow them to the best of my ability. The one question that I get asked all the time is, will you waive my penalties and interest and attorney's fees? Well, my answer is I can't waive them. I don't have that authority. But if you want to go and talk to the taxing entities and the tax attorneys, please do so. If they say yes, we'll take care of it. We do exactly what the attorneys say. We follow them to a T. One other thing that we offer down there to help the citizens of Greenville or Hunt County is, if they're having trouble paying taxes, we offer pay agreements. And you can't imagine how many times older folks have come in my office where they've lost a spouse, and they're so worried that the tax attorneys is going to take their property over. They will sit there and cry, and I'll cry along with them, and we'll offer them a payment agreement, quarterly payments. It's just a shame. These poor people are worried they're going to lose their house. But I can assure them and tell them all the time, all you have to do is go to the appraisal district, file a deferral on your account, and you don't have to pay taxes only when you can. But if you don't, the taxes is going to accumulate at a discounted price, and after you pass, you're dead and gone, the kiddos is going to have to take care of it. So anyway, thank you for your time, and I'd like to have your vote in March, because I love doing my job, and I want another 4 years. Thank you.
If elected tax assessor collector, there are several questions I have and would like to look at changing, but here are a couple that I can share with you. The first is the limiting of the tax transactions that you can make at one time. If a citizen comes in to pay 10 tax accounts, there should be no reason they're made to go to the end of the line or come back another day to complete their payments. And to me, I said this the other day when we were talking, had our other forum, it's no different than the number of groceries you can buy in the grocery store or the number of feed stacks that you can go and buy at the local feed store. That person is taking care of their business and they should be helped as such. Taxes are a major part of what keeps the county running. And the second is the closing at 4 p.m. I don't agree with closing at 4 p.m. I believe a county office should be open till 5. And we will do our very best to make sure that that gets changed. I know, and I applaud Randy for making it 5 days because that was not good. But I believe it needs to be open at least 5 minutes till 5 so the girls can, or the employees can finish up their transactions and be out of there as quickly as they can. I understand the county is much larger than it was just a few years ago, but it is our duty to serve the county, the public in the county. I am very dedicated and a person who takes pride in their job well done, and the citizens of Hunt County should expect no less in the people they employ. Thank you.
All right, thank y'all so much. Appreciate it. All right, so our 3 county commissioner candidates, come on up here and put yourselves in order, 1, 2, 3, that we did the drawing for.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll get stuck in the middle. That's right, you could be stuck on the end. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna put yours.
Every place is a good place. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I know.
All right, guys. So once again, we're running ahead of schedule, so we get done early. Brent's gonna have us some extra time up, but we get done early. We'll get done early, but I'm sure the candidates will hang around for you guys to ask them specific questions, so you can come up and ask them individually and talk to them. All right, so basically, you're gonna have 2 minutes, once again, for your opening statement. The questions now, you're gonna get a minute on your opening questions, and the last question, your closing question, you'll have 2 minutes on that one as well. You just got a little extra time. So if y'all go ahead and start, Philip, with your opening statement.
Thank you for taking the time to join us. I want to thank my family for being with me the last 20 years. I really appreciate that. My name is Philip A. Martin, your current precinct commissioner, Precinct 3. I'm also the pro tem Hunt County Commissioner of Court. I was born in a military family and as young moved to Texas, and that's where I should have been. We moved, I graduated from Celeste High School, attended East Texas State University. I attended St. Edward's University and graduated from DPS Academy. I do have a master's certification in law enforcement. I have been a public servant for 52 years and have been married for 53 with one woman. Okay. Department of Public Safety Trooper for about 30 years and still hold the rank of Special Ranger of the Department of Public Safety. I have served in various counties and city service groups, and many of them, and I'd like to all, if y'all get a copy of that, if you will, read and see what I've done. I'll try to hand them out later on. I have the experience as county commissioner for 20 years. I am proud of the commitment and success of this county during my tenure. I have worked hard for the people and have seen a positive impact. I want to continue making positive change for the citizens of Hunt County with a continuous focus, and this is important. We need to focus on growth, transportation, and workforce. In short, I have dedicated these years as a public servant because I believe in the people. That's what I believe in. I believe in the future of Hunt County. I care. One of the best qualifications that I have is that I care about the people that I serve. I am ready for additional and ongoing challenges here in Hunt County. I am asking for your vote. I've received it for 5 terms. I'm seeking my 6th term, and that will be a record. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
I want to thank the Hunt County Economic Development Association for hosting this event today. My name is Paul Fry. I am a conservative Republican running for Hunt County Precinct 3 Commissioner. I'm a 59-year-old resident of Hunt County, where I recently retired from Hunt County Precinct 3. I was a heavy equipment operator for over 22 years. I have the vast knowledge of the road system, and I am familiar with the precinct's budgets. I am excited to step into this new challenge. With the new growth of our county has seen in the past years, it is time to prepare for the future. As Hunt County Commissioner, I want to be able to reinforce the infrastructure to be able to sustain the growth in businesses as well as increase traffic. I will work hard to make a good decision to move this county forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Gary Smith. I've been fortunate enough to be involved in national security for 37 years. One of the proudest points of my life. I've done 23 years of it right here in Hunt County, where I've lived with my wife, Lisa, for 34 years. I don't have 52, Philip, but I'm one woman. And I've raised my two kids, Shelby and Colton, right here in this county. I've been fortunate enough to be at the largest employer in Hunt County since 2001. I have run that facility for the last 12 to 15 years in different executive roles, responsibilities for budgets over $100 million, a labor workforce of over $600 million, and over 3,000 employees. I've been responsible to build aircraft, run the roads, run the facilities, run the airport, and the fire department. We run a small city. So my experience level, I'm very confident, is more than adequate to manage in the Hunt County Commissioner's job. I've had the ability, because of what I do, to work with everybody from the custodian to the Secretary of Defense, negotiating people, process, and what has to happen to make the commitments that you make to whoever the customer is, including a taxpayer. I'm best known for improving, for changing the way we do business, for creating more efficient ways, and in this scenario, not creating profit, but creating ways to take taxpayer dollars and make them go further. I'm very confident that I can add benefit and value to a growing community that desperately needs to shift from managing in a precinct manner to more of a suburban, how do we grow, because it's coming whether we want to or not. And I thank you for your support.
Paul, you're gonna start off this one. Okay, so what experience, and you're gonna have, by the way, y'all each will have a minute. What experience and specific measures will you take to attract businesses and create job opportunities to stimulate economic growth in Hunt County? So once again, what experience and specific measures will you take to attract businesses and create job opportunities to stimulate economic growth in Hunt County?
Well, as we all know that this county is growing, I've lived here all my life. I've seen it growing. I take the challenges of working with all the businesses, bringing in new businesses, the infrastructure. We need to work with the local fire departments because we are going to grow. The local fire department is going to have to grow also. We need to accept these businesses, accept the families, bring the families here, and that if we get the business here, we can bring the family here and we can keep them working in our county. That's what we want to do. We want to keep our people right here in the county, not traveling out of county. We're getting new roads here. We need to just establish a base for them here, for their family.
Would you mind repeating the question? Make you work for a living.
All right, what experience and specific measures will you take to attract businesses and create job opportunities to stimulate economic growth in Hunt County?
Thank you. So it's very simple. What I do, I create jobs now. I sustain jobs now. That's what I currently do. I have brought suppliers into this county that created jobs. But what I'm most proud of is things we've just done most recently. See, Paris Junior College has some significant capabilities. We actually had a need. We couldn't get people hired because there weren't skills available in Hunt County. Okay, we actually went and partnered with them. We developed pre-apprentice programs, which I'm very proud to say the people are interviewing for their job today. We're doing things with them that are building apprentice programs that will take all the students from the high schools and grow and develop them with mechanical, structural, electrical skills. And they're adding to it with plumbing, HVAC. You have to create a workforce that businesses want to come. We always talk about create jobs. Politicians like to create jobs. Jobs don't go where people that aren't available to do the job. So, yep, thank you.
Would you repeat the question?
Be a mediator, not care me much. All right. What experience and specific measures will you take to attract businesses and create job opportunities to stimulate economic growth in Hunt County?
Lower taxes. Lower taxes, that's what they're worried about, but also a reference to abatements, tax abatements. We have done this in the past and brought companies here that are large, and when they do a contract with them, they're advising us how many job opportunities there are. This is the best way to do it, and I thank Craig Sims for coming to the Hunt County Commissioners Court and talking to us about it to find out, hey, what are we gonna do to bring these people in? And we're not talking about small, we're talking about large business. Was that 30 seconds?
You got 30 seconds.
Okay, and that's what we've been doing for the last 20 years. So it's important. We need to bring these people in, but also we need to have the infrastructure to accept them. And that's what's going on. If you look, well, I passed all this stuff out, we've been working on infrastructure to where these people could come in. Housing, thank you.
Gary, you're starting this next All right, I'm gonna say it twice, so you can't have me repeat it third time. And these questions do have so many more words than I'm used to saying. All right, what experiences and plans will you take to manage growth to have a long-term strategic plan financially, also public safety, including the jail facilities and transportation? So what experience plan will you take to manage growth, to have a long-term strategic plan financially, public safety, including the jail facilities and transportation?
So growth is hard to predict. So, but you know it's coming. It's already here. And so we have to go deal with what's here and what's coming. You can't do that if you don't have a five-year plan of some kind. You know, when you take GPS and you want to go to New York City, you hit go and it starts you a direction, but you have construction that makes you change. You have wrecks that make you change. But if you don't have a plan that says, year one, this is what we're going to do. Year two, this is what's next. Year three, year four, year five, you don't know where you're going. One of the biggest problems we have is we're living in the now. We're having to deal with the issues that are in front of us today at this moment. You have to deal with that, but if you don't have a plan, you're not going any direction. Jails, if our population doubles by 2030, do you think our system of jails is currently ready to absorb that? People grow, crime grows. I'm sorry, I hate it, but that happens. You have to have facilities that can deal with that. You have to have infrastructure that supports it whenever we deal with them. And so you have to have a plan that goes there, and you have to integrate your budgets so that you get the maximum spend out of it.
That's the question. Yes.
All right. What experience and plan will you take to manage growth to have a long-term strategic plan financially, also public safety, including jail facilities and transportation?
It's on your table. We have a plan. We have a plan, yes, for roads, of what's going on, This has been planned for 20 years, even through John Horn and even through Judge Bobby. We have a plan, you're looking at it. Yes, for roads, we had a $24.5 million bond issue, y'all remember that? It's still working, it's still paying its way, and that's what it takes. We have a plan, Hunt County 22 thoroughfare plan recommendation, it's on the table. That's our plan, and it's not from 20 years ago to right now, it's in the future. This was drawn up in 2022. Hunt County and the Commissioner's Court has a plan, and you're involved in that plan. I want you to look at this, yes, for roads. Look at all the people that's involved in it. Read the front page. I've been involved in it for 20 years, and I'm proud of it. We have the plan.
Sure.
But leave me words in the question. I'm going to talk to my committee on this. What experience and plan will you take to manage growth to have a long-term strategic plan and financially, also public safety, including the jail facilities and transportation?
Well, like the two gentlemen before me, yes, we need a long-term plan, not just a 5-year plan. We need to look way down the road because we're hitting that 5-year plan that they have already planned. We need to go 5 to 10 more years down the road. Yes, we're going to have to increase our sheriff's department, our first responders. And yes, we will probably have to build a jail. It's something to upsize because everything is growing. We need to keep the growth coming. We've got the roads. We're going to have to build new roads. We're going to have to upgrade these county roads to expand the growth because you get more traffic down these county roads, you're going to have better roads, better road systems. And I'm open to anything that we can save money on, but get it as a whole and do the county some good. Thank you.
Phil, you're starting this one, and I will not have to repeat this question.
Okay.
Y'all got 2 minutes on this last question. You can use it as a closing statement as well, but if you should be elected, what's going to be your top priority for Hunt County?
My top priority is the people. My top priority is you, the people of Hunt County. I represent the people of Precinct 3, and I do listen. My top priority, you say, is you. No, it's transportation, safety, health and safety. That is working for you. Through these years, I've backed law enforcement. I've backed law enforcement in reference to where we would quit training them and be able to keep them through finances. In other words, pay them more. We've had to increase the pay in order to keep them after we were sending them to school. We've upped, I believe it was 970 in 2001, in reference to fire departments, up to 48 every month on 13 of these fire departments. We've increased that because we have people coming. We have more houses building. But we have safety and health in order to worry about. One thing that we've done also is basically in reference to COVID, ARPA money, we gave it to them so they could bring, because we had so many people ill, health and safety. We had to bring nurses in because it was so bad up at the hospital. And that's part of the job that we do, the duties in reference to the hospital. I tell you what, we have accomplished so much in reference to improving what we have. And we are still in the plans for the future. This was not a 5-year plan. This goes up to 30 or 40 years. And it's important that we keep on looking for other ideas. And I want to thank y'all for listening because I think y'all learned a lot and I have too. Thank you.
Well, Hunt County has dedicated a workforce that I am proud to be a part of. This tight-knit community, if elected, my priority will be to better the infrastructure in Hunt County. That is called the roads, the housing departments, everything, the jail. This community and businesses deserve to have the best, and that is you, the best. Structure through the proper and road maintenance that will provide safe travels for not only our families, but our school buses, our first responders. Being a fifth generation here in Hunt County, and I also have 2 grandsons, which will be the 7th generation here in Hunt County, I don't make decisions lightly. I'm not only making decisions for your family, I'm making them for mine. And everybody ought to look at that right there as one thing you need to do. You make decisions for other families in your community, make sure you make them for yours. If you want someone with hands-on experience, and like I said, I have 23 years' experience with Hunt County, Precinct 3, and and I will be a working commissioner. If things need to be done, I will get on a piece of equipment and work. You can guarantee that. I will be transparent with the people. Hear your thoughts and needs. If you like that, vote Paul Fry. Once again, I want to thank the Hunt County for coming out, and Hunt County is y'all, being a part of this forum today. Thank you.
You know, I didn't choose to do this because I needed an income in retirement. Mr. Fry, Mr. Martin, you should be proud of your service to this county, but I have no intentions of running for 6 terms. We have to go look at what is next. If we have a 5-year plan, you can probably show me all the capital that's going to be bought over the next 5 years. You can show me the roads in order of damage, poor surfaces, and traffic counts that need to be done. Things that have been on the books for a long time is important. That's part of what the state and every area of this is doing. What are we doing to ourselves? How are we making the taxpayer dollars go further? That's what we have to manage every single day. It's not just about getting on a piece of equipment. It's about, is that equipment bought at the best price it can be? It's about, is this road the one that should be fixed today? So I will promise you, that is what my experience is about how to make this better. I've got no problem rolling up my sleeves, but I'll roll them up outside on the equipment, but I'll roll them up inside on the books of the budget and how we execute to make it better. Look, for 20 years you haven't had a choice for Precinct 3. You now have 3 very distinctive choices. You can maintain the status quo. If you like the way things are and that's the way you want to stay, you have a solution for that. If you want to vote for a friend or somebody that you like or somebody that makes you comfortable or you think you have favor with, you have solutions for that. But if you want to move forward, if you want to see it different, if you want to be able to deal with the growth that's coming, you have a solution for that. So I ask you to walk through, think through, because the vote you cast has an awful lot to do with what's next for Hunt County, what the future of Hunt County is. So I'm not going to ask you to vote for me. I'm going to ask you to look and say, what do you see that you think makes Hunt County better to the county you want it to be in the future? Thank you.
Well done, guys. Well done. Appreciate it. All right. So we got one left. Jill, who our current House rep is up in Austin, having to deal with paperwork stuff. If you don't want to sit, you want to say hello, you like staying. If you want to stand, you can say whatever you want to do. She's up there getting her staff together and all that kind of good stuff before she gets sworn in here in a couple weeks. But so Brent is going to get some pretty good time today. And I told him that they'll probably let him have a few more questions, but I'm going to still get done early so that all y'all can go out and talk to we got 8 people here today. So if you guys want to go talk to them individually and see what's going on, you can. So Brent, we'll start off. You got your 2 minutes opening deal, and you can go ahead and get started.
All right, this is the campaign that just will never end. It will end. We're 4 weeks away from having a final answer here. And I want to thank you guys for for putting up with 9 months of this, and I'm sure that Ms. Dutton would agree with that. My name is Brent Money. I'm a sixth-generation Hunt County resident. I went to Greenville Christian School here, where I met my lovely wife, only wife I've ever had for almost 24 years. We have 5 children. They have been educated at public school, private school, homeschool, charter school here, all here in Hunt County. I went to Texas A&M Commerce, got a biology degree, and then taught at Greenville High School for 2 years before going to law school at SMU. During that time, my wife worked at the hospital here in Greenville as a registered nurse and helped to pay my way through all of that. And then I came back, practiced in Dallas shortly while we still lived here, and then came back, and I've been here practicing law for 17 years, helping small business owners and individuals like the people in this room, many of the people in this room, with real estate and small business issues. I also spent 7 years as city attorney in Greenville, economic development related. I worked on, first project I worked on was at FSTI out in Industrial Park West. Helped develop that business park, again, just as a city attorney, helping draft agreements and negotiate. We worked on the Cobisa project, the Greenville Promenade, the Splash Kingdom, the Stainback project, as part of that as city council member as well. So I'm invested in this county. I'm invested in its well-being. My business is here. I have a business here, law and title practice that employs 42 people. And so Hunt County, my family is as good as Hunt County, and Hunt County is as good as my family, so.
All right, first question. What is your, and you have a minute, by the way, when we're talking to each of the questions. What is your opinion on maintaining local versus state governance control?
I have been, since I became city attorney in 2007, I think I've been to almost every legislative session. Legislative sessions happen every other year. And I've testified in hearings, I've gone into House of Representative offices, and almost every time it was that question. Almost every time it was something related to the state wants to do something to tell cities or counties how to operate. And there are good reasons for that. There are some cities and counties out there trying to do some crazy things, things that nobody in this room would agree with. But I don't believe in one-size-fits-all approaches. And the reason, one of the things that's great about the federalist system we have that we don't really use as much as we should in the federal government and the city, county government here is that you have local people, and the people that are closest to their representatives are represented the best. If you have a problem with, I favor local control.
It's all right, because you're going to continue on with that. The next question is, that being said, how will you stop the unfunded mandates being forced on local government to support without any state funds? So it just carries on to what you were speaking about. What are we going to do to stop the unfunded mandates keep being pushed down to the local governments with no financial support we got to take out of our tax base?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, obviously, in the Texas House, there are 150 representatives, and it takes 76 to get anything done. But it's an understanding that I represent businesses. I've represented, cities here in this district. I understand what it's like when people are required, or when governments are required to do something. So I would bring that philosophy of the government that governs the best, governs least, and governs closest to the people. And so every problem in the state does not need to be solved by a one-size-fits-all solution from Washington or from Austin that says, okay, we have this problem over here, let's pass a law that fixes everything. One of the reasons I favor us staying as a part-time legislature is I think it allows people to experience a problem and cool off a little bit before legislature is back in session. I think we need less reactive government.
Okay. These questions can get a little time to something we did earlier in the other forums. So if you've got some other ways to answer. What is your position on tax incentive programs for economic development?
Yeah. Like I said, I've been involved probably more than most people in this room with negotiating and drafting the kinds of agreements that we have had to do to build businesses in this community. And I think if you look over the last 15 or 20 years, Greenville has done an excellent job of recruiting businesses under Greg Sims' leadership and you know, the elected officials as well in support of that. And so tax incentives are a piece of that. And so we have to play under the rules that are available. And I've always said we need to use every tool at our disposal to try to get people to choose Hunt County, to choose Greenville when they're looking for a place to work. I think for the most part, businesses choose, as one of the previous people up here said, they choose a place where they can find the workforce and the infrastructure. Those are the things that are most important. But tax incentives is a piece of that.
You know, a lot of new candidates also talk about wanting to have term limits. But then, of course, once they get elected, you never hear about it again. So, what's your opinion on term limits? And if you do believe there ought to be term limits, what kind of things are you going to do if you get elected?
This probably isn't very popular. I don't really believe in term limits. I served on city council with term limits. And I think about the time you start to figure out what it is you're doing, you're on your way out. And so I think that there's a term limit every time there's a vote. And so we have, in this particular position, every 2 years, you get a chance to decide whether you think the person that's representing you is representing you well or not. And sometimes you choose experience. Sometimes you say, boy, we've had enough of that kind of experience and we want a different kind of an experience. But I think that as people who vote, and I'm one of these people who vote, it's a little bit lazy for us to say, well, let's just get rid of everybody every 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 years and hope that somebody better shows up. Nobody better is going to show up unless you recruit them, support them, vote them in, and then hold them accountable when they're there. So I'm not. I don't think that term limits is a fix-all.
Okay. So this is when also we had the other forum and said, well, we've got to figure this out how we're going to do it. But what are your views on eliminating property taxes, and what suggestions do you have for alternative funding sources if we can eliminate property taxes?
So I think I said in the last forum, I think that the property tax system is immoral in general, and it's unjustly applied, and that's not a reflection on anybody in this room. I think it's just kind of the way that it is. We should not be renting our property from our government. We shouldn't be paying taxes on something into perpetuity, no matter what, and based on an unrealized increase in the property value. It creates outcomes that are unfair. So I am in favor of trying to eliminate property taxes over time. The lowest hanging fruit there right now is school taxes, and there are multiple plans out there to eliminate school taxes over the next 8 to 10 years without creating a new tax or increasing any other tax, but just by using the surplus revenues of the state through existing sales taxes to pay down the M&O rate of school districts. School districts have the largest property tax, and so that's the fastest way to go there.
Okay. All right, close it out for your closing statement. You got 2 minutes, and it's the same question for everybody. If you'll be elected, what's going to be your top priority for Hunt County if you are elected?
Okay. Thank you all for coming. My top priority, I have legislative priorities we can discuss, but as we focus on economic development issues, probably my top priorities are things that I didn't even know existed when I started to run. But as I've gone throughout the district, I've met people who have real problems. There's a group of people out in Union Valley that are very concerned about a concrete crushing plant out there, and they need help from a state representative on that. There's issues with the residential treatment center in Lone Oak that needs some real help there. I think I think that 90% of this job is going to be responding to the needs of the community in non-legislative ways. We're 100% representative for 2 years, but you're only doing legislation for about 5 months during that period of time. The rest of the time, you're responding to the needs of the people of the community. And so that's where my priority and my focus would be. I said earlier that I'm a sixth generation resident here. And that's important, I guess. But what's more important is that my kids are seventh generation. And I want my grandkids to be eighth generation. And so what I want is to create a district, a county, a community that my kids want to stay in and grow their family, and that their family will want to stay in. And so my opponent lives half time in Dallas, half time in Van Zant County. Her husband's business is in Dallas. I'm here. This is here. And no matter what happens, I'm here. My business is here, my home is here, my family is here. I don't think we could leave if we tried. And so I'm gonna spend the rest of my life from here until I'm gone, trying to make this the absolute best place I can possibly be. Whether that's as state representative or as something else, whatever it is that I was doing beforehand. So I thank you, and I ask for your vote on March 5th.
All right, let's give a good applause for everybody. It's a long group today. I do appreciate all the candidates staying on time. I didn't have to interrupt anybody. You paid attention to Hub on the deal, so I appreciate that. It makes life much easier. We're getting done about 15 minutes early. Once again, our next event, our 13th event we have is going to be at 8M Commerce on April 18th, 11:30 to 1. Food's included, and I don't think they're going to charge us anything either. I think it's free. So free food on April 18th. We're going to get an update from 8M Commerce on what they've got going on. And you go to huntcountyeda.com to take a look at it. Once again, I'm sure the candidate's going to hang around. Thank y'all. We had another good, I think we had 125, 150 people RSVP. So appreciate y'all coming out to Hunt County and for it. God bless you. God bless Texas.
This video has been brought to you by GEUS. GEUS is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.